Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. And what's this? It's Planet Coaster 2. I was lucky enough to receive the game as a Christmas present, and was super excited to jump right in and start playing. I have a lot of thoughts on my early hours in the game, as well as I completed an Intamin Multiverse Coaster for the start of my new Viking Park series that we will be working on throughout probably the next year, because it's going to be a pretty big park. So this episode, I'm going to give you a little bit of my thoughts after a few hours of playing Planet Coaster 2, and then we're going to jump into the Multiverse Coaster build and the little front entry area of this Viking Park. So let's just jump right into this. Planet Coaster 2. This is a really fun game, actually. It's everything that I wanted from the original Planet Coaster. I did receive a new Xbox to play this on, so I have a lot more storage and I can build my parks a lot bigger, because there's the limitations with the counter and whatever on the gaming console, so that way you don't overload the parks or whatever. And I really couldn't build much in the original Planet Coaster, but in this one, I've already built a good chunk and not taken up nowhere near as much as I would have in the original. That being said, I just love the game. There is so much new to it, so many new coaster types. Can't wait to get into the slides, new flats, the new features, the new, building on coaster trains feature. The new sequencer is great. The scenery brush is amazing for filling stuff in. The path tool is a pain still, just because it does so much and it's really powerful. But I just have to learn how to use it. And that was my biggest takeaway, is that I don't want to complain about the game, because a lot of other people are complaining about the game. So I'm going to try not to. For me, the biggest thing is it's a learning curve. I learned a way to do Planet Coaster 1, and Planet Coaster 2 is different. Not super different, but different enough to where I have to learn some new controls. The thing that bugs me the most, the one thing I will complain about, is the color picker. Because it's a new feature, or it's not a new feature, it's changed. The old one had a lot smaller selection as far as what elements you could change on pieces, so it's great to have more selection. But before, you would just click the right trigger. This is for the Xbox version at least. You would click the right trigger, and it would bring you up to the color area, and then you press what color you want, like what part of the piece you wanted to color, and then selected your color, and then just backed out of it and you were done. This one, you have to scroll down to the color area, hit X instead of A, or else you place it down, and then go in, pick your color, and then you have to confirm it before you can back out of it. And the thing I'm struggling with is having to confirm the color. It's annoying. But that's my only issue, is having to confirm the color, really. I did notice a few bugs. Unload stations only allow you to do 2 trains if it's in block section mode. And the trains do crash into each other, even in testing. It'll sit in the unload station, and even if the ride is closed, the train will dispatch from the unload station and bump into the train in the station. So there's some kind of bug going on there, I think, at least. There's supposed to be a way that you can set a specific interval time for coasters, and that doesn't stay. That turns off and reverts back to the original after a while. That's obviously a bug. And then the sequencer, which is great, sometimes gets a little off timing. So just a few bugs. I don't really have any negatives to say about the game. I'm absolutely loving playing it. The first few hours in. I'll let you know in a couple episodes what I think more once I've got some more time in the game. but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving the Viking pieces, the new coasters. I do have both DLCs, so I can't wait to continue to build more. But speaking of building, let's jump into the actual park now. Alright, so we're in the map now. As you can see, I got this little entry area all done, like just the path set up, and we got the multiverse in, but we'll take a look at that in a minute. Over here, this is every single coaster that I'm going to be building in this park, and yes, or ride even, and yes, it's a lot of them. Got some DLC, got some base game, most of them are new. We've got the Vekoma LIM launch from the DLC, as well as the Mach Extreme Spinner from the DLC. The B&M Long Train Hyper that has the splashdown feature. Obviously, I'll lengthen the trains. The Vekoma Tilt Coaster. PTC/CCI Woody already in the Planet Coaster 1. Vekoma Multi-Launch Coaster. Zamperla NebulaZ. Whatever the heck this thing is. The Drop Tower, which I know was in Planet Coaster 1. I think the other one might have been. And then whatever the heck this flat ride is. Seuss Trolley Train Ride. Obviously, that's going to get themed up. And 2 water slides. Drop Slide and then the large round raft slide. So yeah, like I said, very big park. A lot of new stuff. Some old. But yeah, I can't wait to build more. But this is what I have done so far. Initial path area, and this area actually changes a bit by I plop a flat ride right down the middle. But there's this weird bug here. I don't understand what's going on, but like a chunk of the ground is missing when I put the path down. So I don't know what happened there, but you know, it's whatever. I don't care. But yeah, here it is. Intamin Multiverse, or as it's called in the game, Outamax Multiverse. I got the sequencing timed up right now, but as I said, it breaks multiple times while I'm building this. Didn't really know what to do with the first segment, and then you got like a 90 foot lift before the first drop, kind of inspired by Gold Rush, into a wavy helix, and then a twisting airtime hill, before a camelback inspired by Gold Rush, also. This little Stardust Racers knockoff element, but like junior, the 2 tracks rise up and then twist into a sharp turn. I thought that was cool. Little bunny hop, and then pop up into the switch track. And there will be a small show scene here for the ride. I'll talk about the theme later once I announce the name or kind of get more into the buildings. But I love these new dynamic elements. No jitter. They all work perfectly. Drop down into a reverse launch, reverse wave turn, turning hill, and yeah, but all this is going to be taken in reverse too. And then we have a little like double up almost into an airtime hill over the station, another little pop, turn around over the plaza, another pop down, another bunny hop, small twisting hill. Another small bunny hop, little turning bunny hop, and then a slow pull up into the drop track. And then it'll take off again and go into one final twisting hill and a small double up into the brakes. Nothing special, a little bit repetitive, but it's a family coaster, so, you know, whatever. I'm happy with my first design, my first ever coaster in Planet Coaster 2. Can't wait to build more, and here's the next update. Alright, a lot has changed. As we can see, the NebulaZ is in the middle, and not fully, but customized some. Put the shield on, put the gears on, added some wood to the arms, just to make it look a little more Viking, not quite as metallic. That's what's cool, is you can change some of the decals on the rides. I think that's really neat. And then over here, bit of station work done, base of the station's done. Still got to add in some trees and stuff. And then we have fully customized coaster train. So yeah, this is supposed to be a bit of a flying machine. A town inventor has created a way for you to fly. And you have to come in and board the train, and something's probably going to go wrong. But yeah. So over here we have the drop track building. It's going to be an abandoned building. I got to add a lot more details, make it look more worn, add some trees, overgrowth, probably ivy to the sides. But it's supposed to be like you roll in, and oh no, the floor is unstable, and then it drops. Obviously, this is right after the backwards portion, so it's kind of like the train was out of control, going backwards. You crash into the building, drop track drops, then you take off and make it back to his the launch pad. This over here is going to be the workshop. And as you can see, there's this little bit of track out back, because it's supposed to be like, okay, here, let me do some, fixing up, let me make sure everything's working right, and then you're going to take off and continue. But instead, something goes wrong, the train rolls backwards out of the building and goes into that wild, reverse ride over the centerpiece. And obviously, like, it's a coaster, but the story is an inventor has invited you. His name is Gobber, actually, because it's Vikings and very How to Train Your Dragon-esque. But he's invited you to test out the flying machine. Things go wrong, thing gets loose, drop track drops, you return to the station safe and sound. Typical theme park story. Did some custom supporting here. It's crap, but whatever. It works. It's good enough. And then I actually wanted to do a little bit of building on it, because I want to put a light on the tail. So you go over to the customization menu, click attach scenery. For the Xbox version, you press X to allow you to select it, and the train's going to run away from me. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it pause in the station when I'm trying to build on it? Now, time of day set. I love nighttime, and I actually really, really like the rain. I think the rain looks great. I think it would be a pain, but I really do like the rain. You'll see it a little bit later. I was messing around with it because I can control it, because this is obviously after the December 12th update. But yeah, I was trying to figure out which light I wanted, and if I'm going to be honest, a lot of this stuff is not in the right spot. That was my other issue with the game, is that, like, the gable pieces are in the sloped roof area, but they should be in the building pieces area. Or, like, there's hanging lights that are in the wall lights area. It's really annoying, actually. But yeah, anyway, and then there's, like, these brackets that are in the light area, which, I mean, and it makes sense, but, like, these dragon heads don't make sense to be there at all. But anyway, I picked this light, went over, had to rotate it, so that way, that's the other thing, like, why does it spawn sideways? And then scaling, I love this scaling function. This is awesome. Works very well. And then go over to settings and apply to all trains. I'm not going to do twinning because I don't want it on every single car in the train, but I put it on the train and then align it, and oh, hold on, it's got to align it properly. Just kind of mashing it inside the train, the tailpiece. There we go. But yeah, now it's on every train. Every train has lights on the front and the back. But like I said, I'm really happy with the game, and I love that build on the train function. It adds so much theming to it. The next update should be the finishing off of the station and the show scenes. And I'll see you right about now. Okay, as we can see, I just had it raining a second ago. I think it looks great. It's really cool. I don't want to be, like, building in it because it washes out some of the colors, but just the way they did the rain, everything, it just looks so realistic. It's really cool. But yep, here's the station. The station's done. Super happy with how that turned out. Abandoned, house. There we go. Abandoned house. Scenery brush. Scenery brush works great. I love this thing. Just spam trees all around it. It hides it. Made the wood look a little darker. Added some shade to it with the trees, and it looks perfect. And added some planks inside. I wish that I could get the planks to move with the drop track. If anyone knows how to do that, that'd be great. Because then I'd make it look like, the floor is actually falling in. But yeah, super happy with how that came out. This, I don't know why, I just love this building. This little show scene here, the doors look like they're off sequence, but that's okay. Yeah, the doors are off sequence. So the sequencer had already broken once I went to film this, but that's okay. I had to fix it later for the final POV. But yeah, I don't know why. I just absolutely am in love with how this is turning out. I love that little workshop there. Now back to the station. I think I'm actually going to try, yep, let's check out the first person camera. Because I did not have Tegid Cam in the first game. I did not figure out how to get that to work. So I am absolutely loving this first person camera. We have the little plaza here. Like, I don't know, this is just so great to be able to walk around at guest level and see what they see. Because it's something that I always wanted to do in the first game, but never could because it just doesn't work that way. Like, I couldn't just get Tegid Cam to work. I don't know if it's a console thing. Had to speed it up a little bit. Train was taking too long. But I don't know if it was a console thing or what, but I just could not get Tegid Cam to work. So, this first-person camera is just, it's awesome. It's perfect. It's exactly what I want, because I get to see my buildings from a different angle without having to, like, worry about, am I at the right height for a peep? But yeah, obviously the queue isn't done. I gotta add some more foliage to it. Love these new rocks, by the way, too. Well, all the new Viking pieces, and here's the station. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. You can see the train parked over here, and all those beams in the ceiling, they're actually tiki pieces. They're tiki beams with that rope on it. Put some banners on the other side, because Gobber's kind of like, I imagine him as the town laughingstock. His inventions don't work all that well, that's why this goes wrong. He'd believe in, like, these mythical beasts that no one else does, and there's this banner of a bear on it, so I figured, why not? But great view of the coaster, definitely gonna have to forest it up, and nighttime is great. Nice subtle glow from the lamps, nothing too bright, nothing too overpowering. I think it looks great. It looks really good. Everything in this game is just, it's beautiful. It looks really nice. But the next update is going to be our final one, where we will be jumping in and checking out the final buildings that I placed in and the coaster with the foliage all put in. Alright, here it is, the final update of the video before we get into some B-roll. Here's the front entrance area to Vanaheim Adventure Park. This entrance is actually inspired by a Lego set. Yeah, I got this Viking Lego set, and that's what I based the entrance off of. Here's the NebulaZ from the ground level. I was trying to figure out how to ride it, and figured out you could just crash right through the ride, which I thought was kind of funny. Tried to ride it, but it didn't look right, so I cut that out. But here we are. Gobber's Great Glider. No, I'm sorry. Gobber's Gliding Gadget. That's it. This front entrance area where the train backs up into if it ever shows up. Come on, train. There you are. Got the light on the back. And then we're going to go into the queue. Got this nice building that's supposed to be kind of like his workshop, as you can see. Bunch of shields and gears and cogs and stuff on the back. Minecart. Crane. Gonna probably try and put a little bit more theming, a little bit more foliage in the future. But I gotta finish out the park a little more. Or at least this front entrance area. Nice lengthy queue line. Oh, I kicked myself out there. Because I wanted to show you this. This is all the scenery brush. Just had to go in and delete some. But yeah, I gotta resync the sequencer still. Didn't do that. But yeah, the scenery brush caps it off really nice. Adds in a lot of trees, a lot of bushes. Next time's gonna be a Mock Extreme spinner right there. Gonna do like a food court market. But that's all for this time, and we'll see you all next time on another adventure.